dinner.
When you have a perimeter designed to keep people safe like President Trump, that's something that should be applauded.
On ABC's This Week, Blanche said the system worked, adding the suspect, identified as Cole Allen, could face federal charges as soon as today. President Trump is accusing former President Barack Obama of treason in a series of overnight social media posts. Trump shared content alleging a 2016 smear campaign tied to Russia and again suggested prosecutions without providing new evidence. And NBA star Tyrese Halliburton is addressing online speculation about his personal life. The Pacers guard explained viral photos involving his white fiancée Jade Jones and her friends and family reflected his upbringing in Wisconsin, saying most of his circle is made up of people he's known since childhood. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Watch us on Facebook Live. Then hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Yo, turn it up. It's Gerod on the air, spitting truth in the booth. We ain't going nowhere. New Orleans City got us hard in the beat, but corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. But corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerod's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tune in out, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Yeah.
All right, folks.
Yeah.
Welcome. It is Tuesday. Gerard Stevens with you. And, of course, we got company today, so he done already told me that I got to act right. So did Wick. Even though that he gonna say that anyway.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to behave today. I'm just going to keep quiet.
You gonna what?
I'm going to keep quiet unless something triggers
You're
me.
gonna keep quiet?
Unless something triggers me.
That's already automatic. So I already know that. Today, a conversation, much needed conversation on this show. He has agreed to come in and have some conversation with us, and I'm glad to say that he kept his word. He is definitely here. Would y'all please say hello and welcome to WBOK World, Mr. Randy Amon, who is the CEO.
Executive Director.
Executive Director. I still call you the CEO of Sewage and Water Board here in New Orleans. Welcome, sir.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Working hard every day.
I was waiting for
I'm
the
going to
rest of
say,
it.
but I'm doing good.
That's a good thing, though, man. Let's hear a little bit about you because I know that we can go through 500 different questions, but one of the questions that I told folks is, I want to know about you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And I'll tell you, if I can delve deep, I'll tell you a lot.
Please.
Okay, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. My father was a school principal, taught for 49 years. He taught at Sumner High School, the first school west of the Mississippi, taught Dick Gregory, Arthur Ashe, Fifth Dimension, Chuck Berry.
What?
And then
That's one of my friends. Dick was always in Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And all those folks.
Yeah, no, he was special.
Yeah.
I met him.
Yeah.
I met him one time. But then he went on to teach was the principal at Pruitt-Igoe, which was one of the worst housing projects in the United States.
I was going to say, wasn't that the housing project?
Yeah. But see, my mother passed when I was about 9.
Oh, man.
And my dad was the principal at Pruitt, and they tore it down, and the next year they gave him the school across the street. And my dad was a widower at the time with 2 young kids. He was an older father. And he said, well, you're going to my school. And so I went to his school for like 4th grade. And then, as things would work out, he had a program with one of the top private high schools in the country called John Burroughs. And the principal at that school said, do you have anyone that can make it out here? My dad said, Bob, Susie, my son, my daughter. And so 3 of us went, my 2 sisters, and of course we had to take the test. And so we ended up going to Burroughs. And from Burroughs, which was basically, it's a private school, majority school, white school. But when I walked in, 7th grade, they said, who wants to be class president? I raised my hand. I was class president. Immediately. And then they had a court system. And so I ran to be junior court justice, and I won. And then I ran to be the chief justice, and I won. And I told everyone along the way, I'm going to go to one of the top law schools in the country. And so I ended up going to University of Michigan.
What?
Received class honors, and then I went on to Georgetown Law. And when I graduated, I worked on K Street. I was a real estate attorney. I had an opportunity to work at the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And then I had a chance to go back home to Missouri. All that was in Washington. I was an assistant attorney general for the state of Missouri. Law firms picked me up, and I worked in private sector. And then an opportunity came.
So you're an attorney?
I'm an attorney, practicing attorney. I'm a former assistant attorney for the state of Missouri. And I've been a partner at the oldest and largest environmental law firm in the country.
Nobody knew that.
I got to get it out there. That's why I'm here today.
So, and this is not, and I'm not talking about anybody's law firm. I'm just saying, this ain't no little law firm that you've been a part of. You've been through some of the most prestigious national law firms.
These are national law firms.
Wow.
K Street, and then one of the biggest firms now in the Midwest. And then I was also, again, a partner at Beveridge and Diamond, the oldest and largest environmental law firm in the country in Washington, D.C. But when I got to St. Louis, I had an opportunity to become the general counsel for the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District. I did that for 10 years. Then I was asked to be the general counsel for D.C. Water, nation's capital. I did that for 5 years. Then I went on to become a partner at the oldest and largest environmental law firm, Beveridge and Diamond.
Okay.
And then I was asked to be the CEO of Philadelphia Water, and I did that for 6 years.
So you've been in major cities. Don't get me wrong when I say this, because some people took this wrong because I said it before, and I said, for a lot of folks, New Orleans is probably one of the biggest small town cities that you could live in. But when you look at the rankings compared to Philadelphia, Washington, or any other major city, it's small. It's medium market. You've been in major markets.
I've been in major markets, and it was very successful. Listen, in St. Louis, the Business Journal in St. Louis, D.C., and Philadelphia all gave me the Minority Business Leader Award. Then D.C. gave me the Business Journal, named me as one of the top general counsels in the nation's capital. Then in Philadelphia, the Titan organization named me as one of the top CEOs 3 times in a row. The third time, they put me in their very first Hall of Fame. And I tell people when it comes to water, I've seen a board implode, a plant explode, over $1 billion worth of bonds. I've worked on 2 major consent decrees, combined sewer overflow, the first one in St. Louis for $4.8 billion, the second one in D.C. for $2.8 billion. And so I've been around and in the mix. Also, I'm on the board.
But let me ask you this question with you, because your careers are going to take up all the show. And I'm saying that in all due respect. But do you feel that way here now? With all the successes that you're telling me, do you feel that way, that the way that people are seeing you as the head of this ancient water plant, water system, and what needs to be done? Because what got to me, this is not you talking, this is me talking. So let me clarify that, because you know you'll be on the 2-minute news blurb today saying that you said something and you didn't. But at some point when I started looking at you, I didn't know your creds. I didn't know where you came from. I just knew you were there. And then when I see you standing up doing the 2-minute, this is why this broke, this is what we're doing right now to fix it. That's all I saw. I didn't know your history. So I think it's important, especially as a man of your stature, saying, hey, these are the things that I've done in my career. Here's who I am. And I'm going to just, say it like they say it when you're free. I'm here, and I'm ready to do what I need to do. But I don't want them to treat you like you just some guy off the back of the truck that jumped off and said, oh, yeah, put me in there. Yeah. This is not a favor. This is what you do.
This is what I do. I am a water professional. I'm a highly respected, trained water professional. I'm on the board for the
Did
national...
I say that right, though?
That's right.
This ain't you coming off the back of the truck and saying thank you.
Absolutely.
This is what you do. And
this is what I do, and I'm acknowledged.
Cities.
And I'm acknowledged for doing it very well.
And that's why I asked the question, do you feel that way here?
Needless to say, it's been difficult.
Right.
But at the end of the day, people have to have a chance to know me. And my father was real big on let your deeds show your worth.
Right.
And I'm real big on working hard and letting people see what I'm doing and to share it when necessary, but to let them know. I'll tell you one thing that you bring it up. Let me say this. I have a national presence as a water professional. Now, I'm usually a very humble person, and I wouldn't even say this, but since we're having the conversation.
I want you to say it.
Now, I am on the board for the National Association of Clean Water Agencies. I'm on the board for the Association of Metropolitan Water Agencies. I was on the board for Water Research Foundation. These are all major think tanks and organizations that deal with water issues and promote water issues on a national level. Matter of fact, AMWA, Associated Metropolitan Water Agency, sent me to testify before the United States Senate about 1.5 years ago. And so when they close the door and they're having conversations about water at a national level, I'm at the table. Now, I'll also share with you.
And that's important, always knowing that I got somebody that represents me, not saying, okay, this would need to be done in a news blurb, but at the table. At the table.
Respected as a highly trained water professional. Now, just recently, you may have heard that our bond rating went down with S&P.
Yes.
Okay. It went down from an A to a triple B plus. And we're going to do everything we can to increase that. But it was interesting what S&P said about me as an individual and as a water professional. While Swibno has experienced recent changes in upper management, we anticipate these transitions will not negatively impact credit quality, particularly given the new executive director's successful track record in securing funding for aging infrastructure and similarly challenged metropolitan systems. We believe this experience will be instrumental in maintaining public confidence and continued support for the system's financial needs. This is S&P.
Right.
They don't write about individuals.
And they did on this one.
And they did on that one.
And this is saying, hey, look, and this is how I translate it. Okay, so what I'm translating is basically they're saying y'all need to be glad on who y'all got, because it looked like this system is in trouble. But it looks like y'all also have somebody that know what they're doing that can probably come in here and turn this thing around.
Yes.
That's what I got out of it.
Yes.
And honestly, and I tell anybody, just you and I having this conversation, this is the first time that I've even seen that. But I'm hearing that they're saying we got somebody that know how to turn this thing around.
Exactly.
And you're in good hands.
Yes.
So now that you're here and you had a chance to go around and see this whole system, when you're leaving, no, I'm just joking. It has always been an issue. This sewer and water board system has always been, I've been here over 37 years. And since I've been here, it's been a problem. Either the turbines are going out, either the pumps are going down. We got flooding in one part of the city. We got new pipes on one part of the city and 100-year-old pipes on the other part of the city. We now have water mains that are going out. I've never seen that before. And I said, man, I can't wait to talk to you because I got 500 questions for you. When you looked at this system and they told you, what your plan? Did you have one?
Have a plan?
Yeah.
Well, I had to get here and kick the tires and walk around and see.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I'm here because I have the experience and there is a need. And you get in your career where you have certain skill sets and you want to use them. And I've had a wonderful time working in St. Louis and D.C. and Philadelphia. But when I heard about the opportunity to come to New Orleans, I felt good about it. I said, there's a need and I have a skill set to share. And one thing about me, I'm a people's person. Okay. That's what made me very successful in Philadelphia. I could walk the streets and talk to people and educate them about water issues, or I could go to the Chamber of Commerce and talk. And so that was very, very helpful to me. But yes, we put together a plan. And I remember, I think it was in February, we had the water main break on Claiborne. And I got to admit, we started having 2, 3, 4 water main breaks. I had never seen that before in any city that I've been in.
What do you think it was, though? I mean, and this is not you saying, here it is, this is the problem, da-da-da, but I'm just asking off the top of your...
It's one problem we have is it's a funding issue. It's an older system.
Okay.
It's an aged infrastructure. And we don't have the funding to routinely go in and replace lines of pipe. Even Philadelphia, which is the 6th largest city of the top 10 big cities, it is the poorest of the top 10 big cities, okay? But they had a program where they would, on the water side, remove the pipes in the middle of the street and replace them. They went from 14 to about 42 miles per year. Didn't always make it, but they had the money to go in that direction. They did the same on the wastewater side. They would remove about 10, 12 miles per year. Here, we don't have that. So the pipes are getting older and older and older.
So I always thought, even if you went on to the federal side, when you go down a federal highway, you see these signs in the middle of the street that says, hey, we're getting ready to put $4.6 million worth of concrete and new streets down, da-da-da-da. That's your tax dollars. So I always thought, especially with infrastructure that's so important, that there would be certain amount of cents in your tax dollars that went to an escrow account or something to replace these pipes when they got too old.
No, the utilities across the country usually have rates. So you have the rates that people pay, and then you try to receive grants and loans, and you also have bonds. Now, the unique situation that we have here that we don't have in D.C. is we don't have bonding capacity. Why? Because our revenue is too low, okay? So once you get to a point where your revenue that you're receiving from the fees that you charge are too low, you're unable to support bonds. And so we have to do everything we're doing with the loans and the grants.
That's problematic.
And so that's why when you look at D.C., they have no problem going in and rebuilding
but they can
big
get a
programs because they can bond.
Yeah. Let's go. Oh, okay. I see OT on the phone here. OT! OT? Do we got it?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There
can
he
you
is.
hear me?
What you say? How you doing?
Great interview with Director Heyman, as only you can do. And, man, I was really calling in to say I've talked to two people since I've been off the council who probably that I've heard talk about Mr. Heyman. And one of them, and I don't know why I didn't think to call him when I was chairman of Public Works and when I was on the council, but Jack Boatman, who's probably one of the top infrastructure people in the country, I went to lunch with him not too long ago, and he said that this director is one of the most diverse and qualified that works on any system in the country. And if you know Jack Boatman, when you talk about piping and infrastructure, Mr. Heyman knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
He is one of the leading African Americans in terms of business in this country. Mr. Heyman, I apologize. I would have thought to call Uncle Jack long before had I known from St. Louis to Pennsylvania. And I'm going to say this, Gerard. He's talked about one of the most well-rounded, from the law to integrity to working on the system. Jack Boatman is known throughout this country by some of the top people in infrastructure. And then the second was I heard a young man by the name of Ernest Smith in the networks department tell a group of people that he feels like the water board has a chance now in terms of the employees being motivated. So I know we've had our issues back and forth with it. I wish I would have called Jack a long time ago to get his take on you. But he's someone who, given his resume and his standing in his country, that his word means a lot, and he gives high marks to Mr. Heyman.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, Mr. Boatman is outstanding, and so are you, sir. I appreciate it. Any time we talked, we both always showed respect to each other, and we argued about the issue, and I always respect that.
Well, thank you. I just wish I would have known that before, but from the top people, and it's interesting, Gerard, your interview, and you were telling him, hey, man, to sell your credentials, but one of the leading people in this country, especially when you talk about African Americans and infrastructure and what's under the ground, he checks off on this guy. He says, we got a good one.
Yes, indeed. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to know who he was. That's what we really wanted to know first. So now we get into the real nitty gritty. So it's getting ready to be good. All right, you need to take a break. We're gonna take a break here. We'll take a break, get you some water too, and give us a minute to breathe and get into some commercials. I'm gonna invite everybody though at 504-582-9422 to call in with your question. That's 504-582-9422. We'll try to get to all of them. Let's not make it a redundant question of when you're gonna fix my pipes. We don't want that to be the redundant question that's gonna come up. But we need to get into some of these other questions too. Very important questions about this system, what we can expect, and what's to come, what is to come. All right, we got more coming up in just a few minutes, y'all. So hold on. It is the Reality Check right here at WBOK. Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
The Historic New Orleans Collection presents a new exhibition open through June 7th, 2026, The Trail They Blazed. Built collaboratively with people who participated in the local civil rights movement, The Trail They Blazed presents stories of social and racial justice straight from the people who lived them. Listen to leaders tell their stories of resistance and persistence in their own voices, recorded by the Historic New Orleans Collection. Plan your visit to 520 Royal Street in the French Quarter and reserve your free tickets at hnoc.org today.
Life Care provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. It's Tuesday afternoon. Mr. Randy Heyman. I am saying Heyman. I keep calling you Heyman. I think I'm trying to call you the bishop.
Amen.
The former bishop was Amen, so I get you mixed up with him. Only thing you need is a big hat. Questions that we have. If you had to grade this system, the Sewage and Water Board, all together, letter grade, A to F, what would that letter be?
I would be the professor that wrote a note and simply say, there's a need for improvement in investment. And I knew that coming in.
That was good. But
I knew that
you can say it.
No,
this is something you and your leadership have got to fix. So how much work do you have? Is it a whole lot of work?
Listen, there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done, period. There's a lot that needs to be done. I know that, and I'll tell you this. I work with 1,400 other water professionals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tell them if you're an assistant or a secretary, you're a water professional. If you're working HR, you're a water professional. We're all working towards the same goal. And so the system is in bad condition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why we have gone to Washington to ask for money to help us in fixing the basins that we have and the treatment plants.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're there to talk about the filtration system that we need to redo. That's why we're there. Now we have a water master plan that shows what has to be done behind the fence. Everybody talks about what's in the middle of the street,
mm-hmm.
but we have a utility part that is behind the fence, the treatment plants that need to be addressed. And so all of that is going to be expensive. It takes time, and all of it is very old.
But the average person has no idea what it takes to fix this system.
Well, let me give you an example. When we look at the two water treatment plants, the Carrollton and Algiers, Carrollton, I mean to say, it was originally constructed in the early 1900s. It has not undergone significant equipment upgrades since 1950s. Mm-hmm. And so now when we look at what needs to be done, building replacements, new plates, settler pretreatment, new filter building, new post-filter basins, we're looking at $1.6 billion. Okay? And then we also have what needs to be done at the Algiers plant and all. These are all expensive. And also keep in mind, the federal government doesn't stop in making regulations.
Mm-hmm.
The regulations keep coming as far as what do we have to treat and what levels we have to treat the water to. And so it's ongoing. We have to think outside the box.
Okay. But I need you to pull out your wizardry
mm-hmm.
and wave that wand and fix it. That's what the average person is looking at.
Well, here's what I'm doing. I've already been to Washington twice and to talk to the legislators, or at least their staff, to say,
mm-hmm.
hey, this is what we need. But I'm also using the fact that I have a national presence, the fact that I am on the board for National Association of Clean Water Agencies and AMWA, Association of Metropolitan Water Agencies. I'm meeting with their leadership,
mm-hmm.
and I'm saying to them, we need a new bucket of funding that is specifically for distressed cities with aging infrastructure. And some of them have already been moving in that direction. And I'm saying to them, listen, let's push for it. Let us be the poster child for it, and then put us first in line to receive the monies once we're successful in building that pot of money.
So, and I'm with you. But I would think if I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm hearing that this city has received FEMA money in the neighborhood of about 2.5 or 2.3 billion dollars, and 1.7 billion dollars was not spent. And I don't know if that money can be used for this infrastructure or any other infrastructure. But I guess my question would be, because I know that the mayor and a couple of other her dignitaries had to go back to Washington and ask for an extension to keep the money, because we've had it so long to the point where they're like, okay, y'all ain't doing nothing with it. You need to send it back. Here go your deadline, and try to get that deadline extended. So my question is, hey, Mr. Heyman, why didn't we give you that money to at least get the ball rolling for what you need to get done? Because if I'm going to Baton Rouge and ask for us to have more control over sewage and water board, wouldn't this be the time to take that money and use it toward what we need instead of what the state's supposed to have done? Is that a good question?
That's a good question. The bottom line, that FEMA money is for specific projects.
But you know that you can ask. You can outline that and ask them, hey, if I had to put my priorities in line and I'm looking at the health conditions of New Orleans, because I'm going to even get to that health issue of all of that sewage that went out in the canal from that boat hitting that pipe. We have got to be able to take care of ourselves with our infrastructure. So if our infrastructure should be our number one issue, this is a health emergency as well, because we don't know what's to come with all these pipes breaking. Who could get caught up in a flood because of those big pipes busting? Because when I saw that big pipe, I was like, geez, that is humongous. And I can see why all the flooding is happening. But when 6 of them starting to happen, isn't that an indicator of what's to come?
Well, it tells you that your system is at end of life.
It's at dire.
It's very old.
Right. We're
it's
in
very
dire
old.
straits.
And I'll tell you this, with the FEMA money, the bottom line is for specific projects. If they're successful in getting the extension and we're able to work with the city, then we will use it creatively to work on other projects that are on the list that we weren't able to get to. And I think that's going to be great if we can do that, and we'll work with the city. And we found the city to be a good partner time and time again, and I think that can and will continue.
Because I think that would be, as I'm looking at projects, one of the things I've noticed that one goes with the other one. If I'm looking at something wrong with my streets, it's probably because there's some water leaking or some of the material underneath the street starting to go, and then I could see it starting to sink. But as you dig them up, somebody's got to redo the street anyway. So guess what? One can go with the other. And what that costs, I have no idea. I'm not the calculator at all. But I do know something has to be done for the amount of money that it costs to live here. And it's not too many folks that can say that they feel that I'm getting my money's worth. And that's not your problem, but you have to fix the infrastructure.
Yes, and I understand people's frustration. Listen, I'm new to town, but what I find is when I walk up, sometimes people will be a little agitated. Oh, you're with the Sewer and Water Board. But then they'll stop and give me a hug. Well, let me just give you a hug, and I support you. I want to see you do well, or,
right.
I understand it's a tough job. It is a tough job. But the thing is, we have to stand tall and set our compass due north, which means we have to make tough decisions. We have to take out our pencils and sharpen them and make sure that we're designing and we're strategizing in developing repair plans that are feasible, that can be done, and that we also at the same time pursue the funding in traditional ways and in new ways as best we can. So and also to be as frugal as we can be to make sure that we're not extravagant, that we're staying to point, and we're making sure that we're getting the job done without a lot of big extras that aren't needed sometimes.
But doesn't it feel like after you solve one thing, you got another one that comes behind it?
You do.
Because the other one that I
heard
that's right after
work.
that.
That's my job.
But what I heard right after that, and you can explain this one to me too, is that as soon as you had figured out something else, figured out one thing, something else comes about, which is the lead in the pipes.
Yes.
That's a problem. And
Yes.
and it's especially in areas, and I'm not talking about one area in particular, but especially in areas where you may see urban kids, because they've got studies that show that lead in pipes can have some type of brain effect to kids. And if that's getting in their drinking water, what do we do about it?
Yeah. No,
Now we got a health concern.
I'm very concerned about the lead situation.
Right.
And I dealt with that in Washington, D.C., so
Oh,
I
really?
have some experience with that. The bottom line is that the cost for replacing all the lead lines is going to be about $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take several years to do. Okay, and the federal government gives us time to make a listing of what the lead lines are, where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then to go and to replace them. Now, in some cities, you have to pay for it yourself, and that's about $12,000-$15,000. Okay, we are working so that we won't have, so that we'll take on the cost, and of course it'll come out of the fees and all. But we instead of just one person pay, we all contribute to that. And what will happen is we have legislation now that's up in Baton Rouge so that we can use public money on private property. Okay, here's the issue. We do not get reimbursed, whatever amount we'll get reimbursed from the federal government, unless we change the entire lateral from the home all the way to the main. So if we only go from the main to the property line, and the other side is still lead, then we will not receive anything.
Problem.
So what we're going to do is we want to do the entire line, but we have to have permission to do that. So we're looking for either an attorney general letter, or we're looking at legislation that's up in Baton Rouge that allows these public funds on private property.
That couldn't be the permission of the homeowner, or
no. That has to do with the restrictions we have on what we can do with the monies that we receive through our rates.
All right. Let's take T-Bone. T-Bone.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Good.
I'm glad to hear you talking to this gentleman here, G. So I'll be real good. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask 2 questions, and I'll hang up and listen. That's right, G. I'll hang up and listen.
No, don't hang up and listen.
Okay.
Keep going on what you're doing.
Okay. First question. Since I know that we have the aged pipeline system, we have an aged infrastructure. Is there plans within these infrastructure plans, or does that fall under you, to upgrade fiber optic operations around the city? And along with that, if that is the case, will that be opening up jobs more in the infrastructure realm for this city? Okay? Those are my 2 questions.
Okay. The fiber optics is one that I'm interested in looking at. We haven't delved very deeply in that, but I know that it was something that we looked at and did in Washington, D.C. When I was there, I was the general counsel in Washington, and I know we looked at it again in Philadelphia. And so right now we've been under such pressure dealing with the 5 water main breaks and trying to move quickly in replacing the infrastructure. But you make a very good point, to the degree that we can collaborate with the optics companies, the ones that need to place their fiber optics in the ground. That could very well be a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's needed. The reason I can speak on that, because I work in that realm. I work in IT, and I can tell you this city is definitely behind in terms of broadband, in terms of fiber optic connectivity issues. And one of the things that was talked about in the fiber optics class I had is dealing with the water level and having to elevate it, and who owns the post. And it's a lot of arms involved, G. I don't think we've ever talked about that, but it's some tacticals involved in that one. And that's one of the reasons why it hasn't been done so far. And I was just wondering, since we're talking about infrastructure, if there was any, talks about moving forward in those areas, because we really need.
Well, there's no reason why we couldn't. And to the degree, listen, right now it's all about collaboration. It's about The Sewage and Water Board working with City Hall, City Council. It's about us working with Baton Rouge. It's about working with the feds. It's about us working with the commerce side. You know, I tell people all the time that our cities don't run on gasoline. They run on H2O, on water. Because if we don't provide the water they need, the businesses won't thrive. And if we don't take away that we have to take away, they won't stay. And so we have to find a way to work together, collaboratively. And so, no, I think that's a good idea. Now, you had a second question. I don't know if I answered that one for you.
No, the second question was if there is a plan to have a more updated infrastructure in terms of fiber optics and fixing the water system, will that generate more jobs in this area?
Well, jobs are critical. And the beautiful thing that when you work for a water utility, people don't think about it, but we are employers. Mm-hmm. We employ not only 1,400 employees that work for us day in, day out, but there are contractors that are hired that do. And so we are part of the economy in the community. And so one thing that we have to do is to make sure that we develop a pipeline that allows us to bring young people in, get them excited about working for a utility, and then let them move up the ladder. Listen, a while back I was in Philadelphia, and there was a young man who had some difficulty with the law, but he joined one of our programs, was doing green infrastructure, and became a manager. He came to my office, and we sat down, and he almost cried because he said to me, Randy, working for a utility, a water utility, has allowed me to buy a house, to get married, to buy a car, to take care of my family, all the things he said I didn't think I'd be able to do. Mm-hmm. And here in New Orleans, it's the same thing, that working for the water utility is a wonderful experience. I am so proud of what I do. I help people every day, and I help protect the health and safety of this community. I have a reason to wake up in the morning, and I think that a lot of young people, especially those in high school, if we have, and I'm working to develop this, if we can have a training program where they're able to go through the training program, learn how to lay bricks, learn how to put in the pipe and all, and then be able to transition to a job with us, I think would be a great thing.
Well, one of the issues that I have with a lot of, when we start talking about development, and T-Bone, I ain't gonna be long. One of the issues that I have here is the fact that planning, and that planning has to be whatever the utility is, whether we're talking about sewage and water board, we're talking about any other chemical plants or anything around here, especially getting locals, people that live here, involved, is we have to have a conversation with our education partners.
Yes.
We got to be able to start putting together some type of program at these universities that say, hey, I need you to train the next pipe fitters. I need you to train these folks and start up a curriculum so when they get out, they're already walking into a job.
They know. And the thing is, AI cannot lay pipe.
Nope.
Okay, AI can't lay the brick.
Nope.
You know, and so there is a need. And the thing is, you have some trade schools. I've seen in Philadelphia where they tried to put in different classes in the actual high school, more for automotive and all.
And we had that here until the schools changed, of course. Yeah. And all of a sudden they went away. But I would love to see that being implemented and these folks that are part of the education process having conversation with you.
I'm talking to groups now that are very interested in helping us develop not only a pipeline for people to put it in pipe and all, but just for them to learn the skill sets that they need to come to the Sewer and Water Board and take a job tomorrow. Listen, every year, what is it now? Every 5 years, we're losing half of our employees across the country. This is a statistic that they say across the country. We're losing half of our employees. And I know it's true because I look at different times when I was a CEO in Philadelphia, and then I looked up and I've lost my top engineer who had 30 years.
Okay.
And so there's a need to fill up from the bottom up and bring young people in who want to do the jobs. And I think they'll have a career that they'll be very happy and very proud of.
Well, one of the things that you'll find out with that is the fact that I think they'll be proud, not only proud of their career, but they'll be proud of it because this is where they live. And I can ride by something and say, hey, look, Daddy did this.
Yeah.
Or your husband helped do this and build this infrastructure that we have here. So Is that being considered though here? Or is it something new that's going to be considered here with your leadership?
Well, the new part is I'm having conversations now with different groups to look at is there a way to develop that pipeline?
Right.
And I am going to be talking at the right time with those in education to see is there a way that we can develop something in the educational schedule that allows them to come.
So here's something else too that I got to get this off my chest. One of the smartest men that I know who knows how to move water, stop flooding, and be able to do something is not being talked to and put into the situation. I don't know if that's political or whatever, but Dr. Calvin Mackey, who is a member of Xavier, he has a little house right here down the side, is one of the smartest mechanical engineers that I know. And I don't know too many of them, but he's one of them. And he has a STEM program here at Xavier University. And one of the top things that these kids do is build models on how to move water, how to stop flooding. And I just think that he's got to be included into any conversation about water.
Well, I don't know him. I've heard of him.
Be more than happy to introduce you.
And but I'm always willing to listen and learn. Okay. And so he's somebody I would enjoy talking to.
All right, T-Bone, did I take all your time?
Yes, you did, as usual. But the gentleman was gracious in answering my questions, and I hope that this does lead to jobs in this area. And by the way, I work at Delgado. We just got out of a meeting talking about revamping things. I was just to talk to Dr. Stibe, the chancellor over there as well, about a program, just like you just talked about, teaching the next generation of engineers and people dealing with civil engineering and water issues.
Yes.
All right, T-Bone. Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Let me add something, too. When we talk about our condition here in New Orleans, the AWWA, Association of Water Works, they came out with a report that says to fix the problems we have here that exist across the country, an old and aging infrastructure, $2 trillion. It's going to cost $2 trillion.
Write that check. What you waiting for?
That's why I was looking at you. I don't know.
More coming up, y'all. We're going to take a break. Galloway, you up next.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Join the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation as it brings the island vibes of Jamaica to Generations Hall at the 2026 Jazz and Heritage Gala on Wednesday, April 22nd from 7 till 10 p.m. One love, one music, one people presents an electric evening supporting music, education with iconic performances by the Wailers featuring Julia Marley, Big Sam's Funky Nation, and the Don, Moose Jameson's Heritage School of Music All-Stars featuring Deacon John. Visit jazzandheritagegala.com for more information.
City Park is where to go when you don't know where to go. Turn towards the city center and start walking. Before long, you'll end up where you belong, at the heart of the city, New Orleans City Park. Stroll along the reeded marsh, wander through the sculpture garden, rest and recharge beneath ancient oak trees. This is where your spirit goes to grow. It's in our nature to yearn for nature. NewOrleansCityPark.org, heart of the city.
New Orleans is built to host, and at the New Orleans Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center, it is where big ideas, major events, and careers come together under one roof. As the 6th largest convention center in the country with a team recognized as a national top workplace, we are proud to power the events that keep our city moving forward. Our staff of more than 450 brings nearly 3,900 years of combined experience, an average of almost 9 years each. If you're looking for a robust benefits package, career stability, and opportunity, visit mccno.com to explore open positions today.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
When you talk, we listen. WBOK. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. Let's go to Austin. What you say there, Galloway?
Whoa, what's going on?
You the man.
Oh, I wish I had it. But anyway, Gerard.
Yes, sir.
You know somebody gonna steal your plan. You gonna introduce Dr. Mackey with Mr. Heyman, and they gonna be like, one of them corporate newspapers gonna be like, Sewage and Water Board Director meets Dr. So and so. But anyway, I'm glad you're doing this.
But as long as you know who brought it to him, that's all that matters to me, Galloway. That's all that matters.
I'm about to say that WBOK is gonna continue to bring it like that. And I think it's going to be a great plan.
But you know I'm not. You know I got a witness here. Randy. I got me a witness. So you know I'm not just bringing somebody to the table that don't know what they're talking about.
Yes. Now I'm telling you, and you know your credentials are second to none. When I first read about who you were and what you come through and where you're from, and I was like, man, I said, I wonder does he know how bad the infrastructure is? But listen to you talk, you upon it. But I do have some questions for you, though. Because it says, what's this, 2026? This lead in the pipe scares me. You know, they said it's like 15,000 properties have confirmed lead pipes, and over 119,000 are still unknown. And homes built before 1986. Now, I know there's a plan that's supposed to be a 10-year plan for $86 million to replace those lead pipes. Now, the Sewage and Water Board has a tracker, a lead, you can track where the lead pipes are at. And I don't know how much you have input into that map. And is the map updated weekly, monthly, or in the education of folks that may not know that they have lead pipes in their home? So if you can go and explain that to some folks that like, hey, my house has been built after Katrina, but some of those pipes were not replaced. So you probably still have lead pipes up in there. Because I know I had to redo my house, and I replaced every single pipe. Because my house was, that house that in the Treme, that thing was built in, rebuilt like 2 or 3 times, but the latest it was rebuilt was like in the 40s. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying, sir? Mm-hmm. So, I really, I'm amazed that you came to WBOK and you laying it all out, and you ain't afraid that you ain't ducking and dodging and not answering questions. And I think Gerard is doing a great interview. So, the Sewage and Water Board, I didn't give them hell for years, but I believe we're on the right track. So you have my attention, because when I see you on TV and you up there talking, I say this man ain't just sitting there talking. He know what he's talking about. Yeah. Now, because me, I actually got to sit there and change a water line from my wall to the toilet. But I'm gonna learn though. You know what I'm saying? So, but keep going on, sir. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And when you meet the doctor, hey, y'all gonna get down and y'all gonna do some good stuff. So I'm gonna hang up and listen, man. And thanks for taking my call, Gerard.
All
you
right,
know it's for the time, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
So is he on point with the pipes? I know he said that there was the plan.
Oh, the bottom line with the pipes is under the federal law, we have a certain amount of time to identify what the pipes are. Okay, are they lead or unknown? And so every year we have to send out a letter, and you've received it probably, to tell you what we understood your pipes to be. Then you have the situation where we only have until I think it is 2037, I think it is, to remove all of the all of the lead pipes. Okay, so we have some time to do it, but not a lot of time when you look at the number of pipes that we have to do. And so we're going to continue to try to locate the pipe, what it is. Now, how do you do that? One, you go back to old real estate records to tell you when a home is built. That sometimes will give you an idea in the neighborhood where it is. Sometimes it's marked in real estate records that it is lead, you know, and then you have to go out and test. And they're using new technology to do the testing. Believe it or not, they're able to use sound waves to see. Now, see, the problem is when you dig with the pipe, you have to dig it up.
Right.
And so to dig it up, then you have to replace it. You have to make the repairs to put it back in. But there was a college in Philadelphia where they literally would drill down or dig down and be able to use sound waves
to hit that pipe
to figure out what it was.
Okay.
And so what we have to, again, and I'm always talking about new technology, is take a look and see what can we use to be the most efficient and the quickest way for us to do it. But yes, we do have to, we have a map, interactive map that people can go to and see what is the lead in their neighborhood and all, and that's going to help us, and we'll populate it more as we go forward.
So this is something that you're educating me on, but I think at some point there has to be a conversation about let's educate the folks that can do the work, get them in a classroom, so that now we don't have 2 or 3 plumbing units that can go in and do the work, and then we have to look at how long that's going to take. We now have a populace of folks here in this city that needed a job, needed good paying jobs. Let's include them into the monies that needs to be gotten from the federal government to be able to pay these folks. Maybe even offer them incentives for education purposes, and get these universities to also get them involved in it. They shouldn't have to. And I do believe this because I know that in New Orleans, I listen to my elders. I can call them my elders because most of the folks are telling me about Booker T. You're going to learn. Don't worry. You don't know what I'm talking about yet, but you're going to learn. Booker T and all the other facilities as far as education facilities that they're proud of. See, one thing about New Orleans, I had to learn this. You're going to learn this too. Somebody going to ask you, where you went to school? And you're going to tell them your college. I'm just sit there and look at you and shake my head because they're not asking you that. They're asking you what high school you went to because they're so proud of their high schools. Back in the days, our elders would tell you about the programs that the high schools offered, bricklaying, home ec, all these different programs that when they graduated from high school, they had real certificates that say, I don't have to go to this college to get the knowledge. I'm already trained, and I got a certificate, a real certificate from whatever whoever did the training to say that I could leave high school and go directly to a job. And that's very important into a city that I think is more just could be just as much blue collar as it is in going to a university. And that's this city.
Well, there's a need.
Right.
There's a need. And there are very few industries that are positioned as well as a utility to say, come join us.
Right.
We have good paying jobs. We have good opportunities. You'll be able to stay and retire.
I'll be able to have a job that I can support my family with.
Support your family, take care of your family, educate your family.
So, I mean,
you can
that's
do that
just
with
as
utilities.
important as fixing. Who fixes it, yes, is important. So involving the folks, I think more pride will come into fixing it, make sure it's done right the first time. So we won't have to keep digging up the street to keep fixing it.
And we want to do it right the first time because remember, all of our employees, we all have to live within the city of New Orleans, which means we're making the system better for our mothers, our fathers, our cousins, our brothers and friends.
You got some more time?
Hey, yeah, I'll make time.
Okay. All right. We're going to get all the phones lit up here. 504-582-9422. We got to do news real quick. We'll come back. We'll have another conversation. Sewage and Water Board is the topic of conversation. Time for you to get your question in. Dial the numbers now. 504-582-9422. More coming up.
campus of Xavier University.
Look.
WBOK Go, an equity media station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Texas lawmakers are holding a hearing today on Camp Mystic, where 27 children and counselors died in a catastrophic flood. State Representative Wes Verdell.
People are disappointed that Camp Mystic's being attacked a lot.
State officials say the camp's emergency plan failed to meet requirements with missing flood maps and staffing gaps, giving operators 45 days to address the deficiencies. Two white brothers, Jesse and Jordan Coleman, in Illinois, are facing attempted murder and hate crime charges after prosecutors say they carried out a racist armed attack on Black Danville alderman Jaleel Jones and two friends while they were fishing. Authorities allege the confrontation involved racial slurs and gunfire. And Akon is once again defending his views on polygamy, saying men and women are not equal when it comes to relationships. In an interview with Justin LeBoy, the singer argues men are naturally wired for multiple partners. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It is, what is today, Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday afternoon. Sewage and Water Board seems to be the topic of conversation, even online here. I see all of our folks having conversation on Facebook, go on our Facebook page at WBOK. Thanks for listening to us on the FM as well at 107.1 FM and, of course, 1230 AM. Mr. Randy, you have opened up a whole different vibe for the city, because I'm hearing folks calling in and saying, man, I'm glad you're talking. I'm glad it's
you.
good to it's good to hear you.
Thank you.
What's next? What is this plan? Can I ask that?
Let me tell you about the plan.
Because I know you pulled it out one time before, and I think I cut you off. But what is this plan? Because that to me was unfair. I'm not asking you to comment on that. When they asked you what the plan is, you need to get me a plan. What the plan is? Did you have a plan?
We were dealing quickly with the 5 main breaks.
Right.
Okay. Now, the organization had made plans and looked at different things in the past, but we had to update and make them fit where we are today.
Okay.
And so
that's always changing.
It's always changing.
Okay.
And so I was on one of the breaks on Claiborne, and I said to people, we need to use new technology and think outside the box, and we need to find the funding. Okay. Then there was a call for a plan, which was our natural next step. Let me tell you about the plan that we came up with.
Okay.
The plan has 6 parts to it. The first is the immediate goal is to address transmission mains that are known urgent risk profile, okay? Those near the Carrollton plant that are the oldest, that we know there's an issue there. That'll cost about $3 million or so. Then we had step number 2.
They're the oldest.
The oldest. Well, they are some of the oldest.
Okay.
They are some of the oldest. Then we had step number 2. Conduct a pilot test to assess the condition of some of the oldest mains in the system near the Carrollton water plant, as I said, which will offer insight into the remaining 33.8 miles of the 100-year-old pipes. Then we issue an RFI. Now, this is the part I talked about on Claiborne when I said we need new technology. The utility will quickly issue an RFI to gather information on emerging technologies that could be used to further condition assessments, predictive technology, and for pipe repair. Basically, having the best and the brightest bring the wares here. And then where else, if you dealt with water and stopping breaking pipes, what better place than to come to New Orleans, show what you can do it very well, and have a good reputation from it.
Right.
And so we have an RFI that's out, and we're going to close it very shortly. And out of that, we'll make a selection on what are the new technologies that we could possibly use. Hopefully, we can use 1 or 2. I call it I say jokingly, it's Shark Tank. Okay, that people come in and show their wares. And so they will show us new technologies. We'll look at how we can use them. Then, based on the data that we receive, we'll develop a list of near-term priorities for design and implementation based on the technologies and all that was presented. We will develop a first draft of projects and preliminary cost estimate in Q4 2026. Full replacement of the 33.8 miles of pipe transmission main could be up to $680 million. Now, The last part, well, let me say, RFPs for priority replacement design will be advertised for work to begin in 2027. So very short period of time.
Yeah, that's not going
shovels to ground.
That's 6-7 months.
And then we have the utility will develop an updated hydraulic model to target areas in New Orleans East, which will eventually inform a citywide hydraulic model as part of a future system-wide condition assessment. So you can't fix it if you don't know what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
And the hydraulic models allows you, with your computer, to sit
to figure
and
it out.
change conditions and see it in real time. And so that's going to be very good. And then the last part of it is, once a citywide condition assessment is completed, SWIPNO aims to implement an ongoing water main replacement program, like I talked about Philadelphia having that.
Mm-hmm.
And that will allow us to replace 60% of our water mains in the next 20 to 30 years. A 2 to 3% annual replacement rate to catch up for previous years of not having the major investment. This will exceed the typical industry standard of 1 to 2% replacement annually.
Got something for you. I just want to throw this in and implement it. I want to see you implement this, and I'm just want you to know I'm gonna be on the news next week saying he got that from me. No,
if it's real good, we'll name it after you.
No, bro, no. But wouldn't it be as much stuff, festivals, this fair, this going on at the Superdome? Wouldn't it be something to implement, to go to Baton Rouge and say, listen, we're not asking you to find us no money. We're not asking you to go to Washington, D.C. to find us some money. What we're asking you to do is look at all the things that comes here through the state, even at Superdome, anything that comes here, implement a $1 fee and call it your infrastructure fee. If you have an event 2 times a week at the Superdome that's 70,000 folks times 2, that's $140,000 in a week. If you started implementing, putting that money away for sewage and water board, now you got a bank that we're not, and you're not asking the residents who are already saying my water bill is already high, plus you adding the other trash fees to it. And I'm looking to say that I live here, but am I getting the service that I need? Because I got boil water advisories. I have this going out. I got somebody sitting there with a tow truck and a dump truck and a backhoe digging in my street because something broke. Now I got monies because people always are going to come here. And I've noticed since Dutch Morial, who was the mayor, that there's always been a chance to try to put together an infrastructure tax. Mm-hmm. Now I don't need to put together this infrastructure tax because I can do the same thing that they're doing to the hotel and motel. They got a hotel and motel tax here, which is 10%.
Exactly.
But if I could just put a fee toward the events, festivals, all that toward what's coming here, it's not the people of the city that live here that are paying it. It's the people that want to come here.
You're hitting something that's very true in that all of these cities, the D.C., Philadelphia, New Orleans especially, has millions of people who come in and use our infrastructure.
Right.
And so it would be good to reevaluate and analyze where are we now. We have the hotel tax, and we can look at that, but also to a hotel fee. And then we could also look at what you're describing, just kind of an event charge that would go towards the infrastructure. I think at this point, everything is on the table to look at to see how can we better and strengthen the utility.
Because whether we want to look at it or not, to live here from 10 to 20 years ago has really been a stress for a lot of folks. This is the city that I love, that I ended up having my family here, but I've also seen the number of people that have declined. It has declined in population because people leaving. They can't afford it. You know, that they can't afford it, so they are leaving and living on the outsides, the outskirts of the city, but they really want to be here. So if I can put together something, or even have the legislature to look at implementing something as law, you know, that would save the persons that live here some stress, because I can get me a Jazz Fest ticket, But when I first got here, Jazz Fest tickets were $7. Look at them now. And what's the money going toward? At least I know what my money going toward if we could put some type of fee with it. But I know you got a big job, and all this stuff that's going to come off, a lot of folks probably going to have a whole bunch of ideas for you, and it's easier said than done because you never know what you're going to have to go through to get things like that done. But you got a big job, and I think that a lot of folks have got to be able to sit down, have conversation with you, and to also be able to say, how can I help you?
Yes.
Instead of pointing a finger at you.
And I welcome that.
Yeah. But you've only been here how long?
About 7, 8 months.
7, 8 months? You didn't break this. If you did, I need you to get you some new shoes, man. I'm just sorry.
No, I didn't have any magical dust that I put in
none. You ain't had
caused
no
it to happen.
You ain't had no
but you know
wizard
what? I'll tell you this. I am my father's son. And I told you a little bit, my dad taught 49 years, taught in the projects, you know, and he had a way of uplifting people. He had a way of being dedicated to what he was doing. And he's told me, I asked him, why are you there? There's a need. And I truly in my heart feel there's a need. I know that I'm qualified. I know what I've done, and I know where I've been. And I know what tables I sit at and talk about water issues at a national level. And I feel empowered to come here and share it with the people, and also to be a conduit, to be someone who is approachable, that the man on the street, the woman on the street can say to me, hey, there's an issue on my block. I'm concerned about this, and to listen. But at the same time, have the ability and the skills to sit down and talk to business people and engineers and hear how they want to solve the problem.
So that's the key. Talking to the people, of course, but also having the conversation with the engineers that know what needs to be done. That's their job. They have the qualifications of being able to do different things of that sort, to be able to say, hey, let's go in and get this. Here's a plan to do it. But I do want to see that happen. And I want folks to be able to talk to you. And I know you make yourself, I see you making yourself accessible to folks. But I'm looking around and saying, oh boy, he don't know yet. He don't know that. And when I say that, I'm saying it jokingly, but people tired. They're just tired. And this system has let a lot of folks down.
Listen, I understand the frustration. We want to turn on the water, drink it, take a bath, do whatever we need to do, and know that it's there. And we don't want to have a boil water alert, and we don't want to have pipes breaking.
Right.
And so we've got to get on the right track. And I think that there is a momentum to do that. And I think, at least when I talk to legislators, they, on both sides of the aisle, show a willingness and an urgency to address the problem. And all. And so I think we can get there. But I'll tell you this, too. One of my responsibilities is to make sure that I educate the community about what the problems are.
There you go.
It used to be an executive director could close the door, set the rates, pick the projects they want to do, and do that for 20 years and never open that door. Those days are gone. We live in an age now of Instagram and Twitter, and as a result, the community is very well educated about the issues. We have water reports. We give those out every year. And so they expect, you can't just come in with a major project.
Right.
They want to know, when we have our water master plan, that's going to be about $1.6 billion. We can't just go out and do it. We have to make sure we're in the community talking with people, educating them. Why is this important? Why do you need our monies for this project? How is it going to benefit me? Those are all rational, reasonable questions. And one thing I tell people all the time, every question deserves an intelligent response.
There you go. All right. Hey, Ron.
What's going on, G, brother?
What's going on with you?
I'm cool. And what's going on with you, my brother? I forgot your name.
Randy Heyman.
What the guest name is?
Heyman. Randy, yeah.
All right, yeah, you're right, my brother. Look, first off, shouts out to the Father Round Table as well as the Hippie New Gun Club. I just want to say, as brother to brother, heart to heart, you is in the intricate position inside of this city right now. I know you say you've been there about 7 to 8 months, so I'm quite sure you done, studied the pile of tricks of the city. I just want to tell you, brother to brother, don't allow yourself to fall in no type of trap, because where you at right now, I mean, you understand the seat that that power holds. You know what I'm saying? So just, I don't mean no disrespect by telling you this, but I just feel that, this is how we get to where we need to get as a community, especially when we see our people sitting in certain seats of power. So again, brother to brother, I just want to tell you and encourage you, keep your head up and do the necessary things that need to be done to make not just your job great, but this city great. Because see, a lot of people who live in this city, this is our everything, and there's certain reasons why some of us being the community, we go hard behind this city because it's not just what everybody think it is. It's what we know it is. That, you know what I'm saying? So just, just do that, my brother, and believe you me, the people going to see your goodness and your good works. And when you do good by the people going to stand and do good with you, and they're going to follow you to the moon. But just remember that. We can never become the very thing that we fight against. You dig? Straight up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
That's all I want
Thank
to
you
say.
very much.
All right, hey, Ron.
Please. Yeah, you're right, brother.
I'll tell you in a minute. So we have, and I think you can hear this in probably some of the conversations, and I'm assessing this by just what I hear. So, and I don't know if you picked it up, but there's a lot of folks that don't trust the system, and a lot of them have been a part of the system or lived here for a long period of time. This happens to be one of those systems. You're going to have a job to turn this around, to have believability from the people that you serve. And I'm asking from one brother to another, with your credibility, with your legacy of all the different things that you've done, I would like for you to start putting together, I don't know how you do this yet, I haven't come up with this, a group of folks from every part of the city that will be the Sewage and Water Board, whatever, but I don't want to call them cheerleaders, but to be able to help you get the word out about what you want to do when you come in for community meetings, what you need. You need somebody to volunteer. You need somebody to do something. We have that already in place. That's another infrastructure.
Well, I am truly enjoying this conversation because I almost feel like you've stolen my notebook and looked at some old notebooks I had.
I did. They ain't tell you I came over.
Well, I'll tell you this. In Philadelphia, we had water ambassadors.
There you go.
Because the feeling is people believe and feel more comfortable with people from their neighborhood talking and supporting and educating. And so we would have conferences at a school gym and have the whiteboards out and talk about here's what we're going to do. But then you'd have the water ambassadors who are at the basketball game, or they might be at that conference talking and sharing information. You're right on board. See, water isn't just Swibno holding it tight, and we are the only ones who can talk about it. We can educate people. And as they become more educated in the community, they'll become more comfortable and trusting of what we have to do.
Yes.
The issues we're facing, and I've said some of the numbers. You've heard me say numbers that had a B after them, billion. That is true. The water system across the country, as I told you, to fix all of the problems across the country dealing with drinking water, $2 trillion. We can't get there all at one time. It's going to take trust. It's going to take our being very strategic in what we're doing, but we'll also have to be very honest and open in talking to the public and sharing with them what it is we believe, what the plan is.
Now you're going to need somebody to put something else together for you. You're going to fall out the chair on this one. You need the mothers that are going to be ambassadors, which are going to be the older elders, the elder ambassadors. Have them with T-shirts to let them know, this is who I am. I am a Sewage and Water Board ambassador, and I'm with Randy. When you go to Baton Rouge, they need to be sitting up in there with you. Don't go by yourself. You become prey. These boys are just looking for you to come by yourself, but they get scared when they got Sister So-So who ain't scared to open up her mouth, or this mother, this grandmother, all these folks that are coming up there with you. They're not coming up there to argue with them folks. They're coming up there to make sure that you got the support. I'm trying to put together your support, and your support just can't be one set of folks. It's got to be the entire community.
Well, we're all affected. We're all affected by the utility. And so
And if you don't have it that way, then you're going to miss out on something, or there's going to be something that they're going to take over from you. As long as you got a plan, you know what you're doing, which I see now that you do. All I got to say is let's put it together so that you'll have these folks and they'll leave you alone and you'll be able to get. I do think that you got to get the money. How you get that money is more than one way, because we've had several different conversations about how. And there should be some type of implement of an event tax or event that the folks of the city don't have to pay for. They pay for it if they want to go. But we see that these events in New Orleans, we have people coming from all across the country to come to New Orleans. Everybody wants to come here for the culture. They want to come for the party. They want to come for Mardi Gras. They ain't scared to pay. They got the money. But they want to use our infrastructure and go home. And we deal with, our infrastructure is broke because we don't have the funds to fix it. And that's happened year after year after year. And it seems like nobody's trying to find a way to fix it except taxing the people that live here. I'm going to put that one on you, bro. You know, you can call me a couple of names after we get off the air. But I know the people here are tired. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. How do you fix that? You got to take a break. All right, we got to take another break here. Final calls, you need to get them in now. 504-582-9422. More coming up, y'all.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. The number of black summer associates at law firms is shrinking to its lowest levels in more than a decade. That's according to a survey by the National Association of Law Placement. And as part of a larger trend across industries, in reaction to a conservative push to end race and gender-based preferences in hiring and in school admissions. I spoke to Bloomberg Equality reporter Jeff Green, who says this decline could be just the tip of the iceberg.
We haven't even begun to see yet the impact of enrollment based on that affirmative action decision. The NLP folks said that's probably not going to show up till maybe next year's class. So you'll have the other side of that ratio affected. The number of black people who were in law school may also be diminishing.
Conservative legal strategist Edward Blum is a name to watch here. He's led several successful initiatives to curb DEI in places like law firms. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
A question once whispered at the edges of American politics is now being asked out loud, across party lines and across the entire globe. What in the hell is going on with President Donald Trump? In recent days, Trump's rhetoric has taken a bizarre, more volatile and dark turn. His comments about Iran have been described by critics as not only provocative, but dangerous. Language that raises the temperature in an already combustible part of the world where he is creating chaos with an outright war on the Middle East. At the same time, a disturbing and deeply unusual public feud has erupted between the president and Pope Leo XIV. After the leader of the Catholic Church warned against what he calls a delusion of omnipotence, the president responded with a personal attack on the Pope. This is not normal diplomacy. It is something entirely different. And the concern is no longer confined to the president's political opponents. Quietly, and sometimes not so quietly, members of the president's own party have begun to signal discomfort, even alarm. And when allies start choosing their words carefully, it often speaks louder than critics ever could. Moreover, there are the optics. President Trump posting surreal images of himself cast in religious garb in a scene symbolizing an act of healing, seeming to emulate Jesus Christ. Now, let me be absolutely clear. Questioning a president's mental fitness is serious business. It should never be done lightly or weaponized for political gain. But neither can this be ignored when patterns emerge, when rhetoric escalates to the extreme, when judgment appears strained, when behavior invites not just criticism, but real concern. In spite of what some Trump supporters seem to think, the presidency is not a stage for spectacle. It is a test of steadiness, composed decorum and restraint, and most of all, clarity under pressure. The presidency demands discipline, not drama. And make no mistake about it, when drama begins to drive a president's decision, the country pays the price. So is Donald Trump crazy like a fox, or just plain crazy? This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Join the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation as it brings the island vibes of Jamaica to Generations Hall at the 2026 Jazz and Heritage Gala on Wednesday, April 22nd from 7 till 10 p.m. One love, one music, one people presents an electric evening supporting music, education with iconic performances by the Wailers featuring Julia Marley, Big Sam's Funky Nation, and the Don, Moose Jameson's Heritage School of Music All-Stars featuring Deacon John. Visit jazzandheritagegala.com for more information.
City Park is where to go when you don't know where to go. Turn towards the city center and start walking. Before long, you'll end up where you belong, at the heart of the city, New Orleans City Park. Stroll along the reeded marsh, wander through the sculpture garden, rest and recharge beneath ancient oak trees. This is where your spirit goes to grow. It's in our nature to yearn for nature. NewOrleansCityPark.org, heart of the city.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. It is Tuesday afternoon and having some conversation. He is here on the show for the first time, but won't be the last time because we're going to keep calling. Hey, bro, when you coming back, man? Mr. Randy Heyman's in the building here. You got a whole bunch going on, but these water mains still a concern for some folks, but talk to me a little bit about those two.
Well, as you know, we had the 5 water mains pretty much back to back to back to back. We don't know exactly why they happened, but we do know there's one common denominator, the age of the pipe.
Right.
And it's an aged infrastructure system that is, you expect at the end of life that they're going to crack. Now, how do we line up? Across the country, about 35% of the pipes across the country are older than 55 years old. Here, 35% of our pipes are 100 years old.
Wow.
And so we have a lot to do. But I have to say this. I'm very respectful and proud of our engineers. They're able to come in quickly with an idea. We worked with our team. Some of them were our employees. Some were contractors to get the job done. So there's a mini success within the breaks that took place. And let me just give you an update on 5 of them. Audubon and Willow, we had potentially the break happened due to a change in water pressure upstream. of isolation required to make repairs in Magnolia and Jackson. That emergency repair was made within 48 hours. When we had the break at Carrollton and Panola, there was a recent hard freeze. There was a leak and a break. Emergency repairs were completed the same day, and boil and water alert was lifted the next day on March 10th. Jackson Avenue and Magnolia, the leak was not present prior to the break, so there was no notice of it. Then we turned around, crews repaired and a small break, and no boil water advisory was issued. Claiborne and Talladano, leak was previously present. Construction occurred near this area the hours before the break. And then Swiveno was first alerted of the break at 4 a.m. Crews isolated the break just hours later by 8:30 a.m. That's the one was the big, looked like a river behind me. The street was made passable within the same week. And the last one I'll tell you, Carlton and Panola, leak was present prior to the break, identified in early February. Contractor crews prepared to make repairs. They had to pause due to a leak at Magnolia and Jackson. Thanks to Swiveno crews, a break on a 4-foot main line from 1908 was repaired. A boil water advisory was issued for only 2 days. I say only, don't want to ever have it, but the fact that we were able to address the problem quickly says a lot. Listen, these are major projects, and the problem we have with water utilities, we're out of sight and out of mind. Okay, we monitor them and do the best we can, but when these problems happen, sometimes you don't know how the earth has changed beneath you. And so we have to go in. But in each one of these, we pretty much were able to go in very quickly, restore what looked like a raging river within a week, and to have it repaved and ready for traffic. We want to get in there and get out as quickly as we can.
Your guys that are working, well, let me stop sounding, I guess, chauvinist. Young ladies, older ladies as well, that may be working in here. One of the issues that came up when we were talking about this on last week, one of my callers called in and said, I would like to know why when I go out and I see a sewage and water board truck, we see 6 guys on a truck and only 2 of them working. And my answer to that was, some of these guys that are on this truck are specialists. They're doing certain things, and their job time is not there at that time, or they got to get lowered down in one of them holes, and they got to have somebody to spot them. There's a whole bunch of specialty things that these guys do, and if I had the ability to sit down at the time until it's time for me to do what I do, I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna sit at the truck. Am I wrong, or are we looking at?
Well, let me put it this way.
Okay.
As I said, everyone at the Sewage and Water Board is a water professional, and especially the ones that are in the truck, the ones who are out there when it's extremely hot, the ones who are out there when the street is flooded and they have to get in waist deep, and who knows whatever. I have a lot of respect for them. And what we have to do, we get the information, we have to send a person out to inspect it to see what the problem is. They are specialists sometimes. Sometimes it's something in the repair that they are trained to do, and so they go in and do that, and then they have to wait for someone else to finish another aspect of the job for them to come in. You might have a situation where they've worked a long number of hours if it's an emergency, and they have to sit down and let someone else go into the hole and do the work for their safety and all, because their safety is job one. We want to make sure they go home.
By and looking at a blip of
You're
what
looking
they're
at a
really
snapshot
doing.
in time. And I know when I'm around them, and listen, I will just show up sometimes. If I see a crew out, I just drive up and stop and say, hey, what's going on? They're often surprised that it's me. But the bottom line is that they're doing good work. I can understand the frustration people have, and I'm not saying that there's never a situation where someone isn't working as hard as they should. But I think, most of the time, I would bet that they're working hard, that either they're a specialist on one area of it, or they're waiting for directions from a manager or supervisor, or they've worked strenuously and it's time for someone else to take their turn in the hole. Because let's face it, a lot of this is a very confined area, and it's dangerous. It takes training.
Let's take some more of these calls. Let's go to Texas. Let's start to Don. Don.
Yes, Gerard, hope your firstborn is doing better.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. And I want to ask the gentleman two questions. I guess they're inquiries. Number one, I know in Houston, flooding happens when people talk about people are leaving New Orleans, but growth can have an adverse effect too on flooding because of the new subdivisions and new retail flooding older neighborhoods. That's an issue. Growth is an issue as well as decline or depopulation, if you will. So we had to balance, had to work on balance. But let me ask you a question about sewage and water board. I know a bunch of people that was great, came out the military, got on sewage and water board with that experience. But let me ask you this. In Houston, they had a settlement with the fire department. You know they're firemen making $400,000 and $500,000 a year with the settlement, right? You know that? Were you aware of that?
No, sir.
$400,000 and $500,000 a year because of a multi-billion-dollar settlement that this Mayor Whitmire did with the fire department. And many of these firemen that's got multi-years of service are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year now. Look it up. It's reality. But my question is, public safety. Okay? The budget of most cities is like 2/3 of the budget is public safety. Is Sewage and Water Board considered a public safety partner? Because without water pressure, how can a fireman, I know they got their water pump trucks. I'm talking about these water mains and things of that nature. I'm thinking what's the name of the thing? I'm having a senior moment here. The fire hydrants.
Yes.
If the fire hydrant pressure is low because of water leaks, is that not a public safety issue and should be a priority in funding and priority in planning? And am I off key with that?
No, you're right. It is a public safety issue. I even had a case when I was in Washington where there was an argument that the fire hydrant didn't have enough pressure. And if you don't have enough pressure, then you're going to have a situation where the firemen can't efficiently do their job. So that's something that we do have to monitor. We do have to maintain the hydrants and make sure that we have the proper pressure. We do partner with the fire departments, and they test the units for us, and we're able to assist them with maintaining them. You also made a good point when you talked about growth. You know, you have to have organized growth, and you have to make sure that you're talking with your engineers and understand the hydraulics and the pressure you're putting on the system by adding more and more homes to the system. I know in Philadelphia, we had a situation where the system was working fine until more and more people started to take their basement and put in strap plumbing and add another bathroom to the basement area. And so the system became more and more stressed, and that led to some issues. So we do have to be aware of that. We do have to be aware of climate change. We do have to be aware of the different things that are happening in nature around us that affect us. So you made two very good points.
Well, I'm going to ask you this final question quickly. Is there ever been, I don't remember, my mind is just blank right now. Does Sewage and Water Board have bonding capacity or powers to issue bonds, or is that under the auspices of the city? And I thank you very much, brother. Don't let this be your last time. Always come to WBOK. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the warm welcome. Yes, financially, one issue we have is that we don't have bonding capacity. And as I mentioned, to have bonding capacity, you have to have sufficient revenue coming in.
Okay.
And we're at a position where we have not had a rate increase since 2020. And so at this point, when I talk to my CFO, Chief Financial Officer, we don't have the bonding capacity.
Really?
And so we're limited. We're able to go after like the bonds, on the loans and the grants, and go through the state revolving fund for things that we do. And we can pursue monies from the federal and from the state and from the city. But at this moment, we do not have the ability to.
That's
do
that's
bond.
disturbing. That's kind of disturbing. And
I was surprised to hear that when I came here.
I would love to hear how that changes. And how you change that. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought Sewage and Water Board had its own bonding capacity. So
Not now. We did in recent years.
okay.
But at this point, we don't.
All right. Let's take Don in New Orleans. It's another Don. Don.
Hey, Gerard.
What y'all having, a Don show, bro? Y'all having a Don show?
I don't know, but man, I wanted to welcome Mr. Heyman in. It's great that they finally have someone there that knows what they're talking about, and can inform, the public of the things that they need to know, as far as Sewage and Water Board is concerned.
Thank you.
Gerard, I got here in the early 70s as a young guy going to college and all, and lived through the May 3rd flood back in 78. And at the time, as you said, Dutch Morial was just elected and was talking about doing things to try to help the infrastructure, of the city. And, man, when you brought up that idea about, putting a charge on events, because, I know we have over 200 festivals and concerts and things of that nature here in the city every year. And, that would be a great boon for them to, get money, especially listening to Mr. Heyman mention that, there's no longer a bonding capacity. So that would definitely be something that, I think we definitely need to look at and try to make sure that we have other fundings coming in if we no longer have, a way of getting any bonds. But, again, I just wanted to congratulate you, bringing Mr. Heyman in to, give people the knowledge that we would need at least some knowledge that we have someone in there that know what they're doing, and we can definitely depend on him, coming to the table and letting us know continually what's going on with Sewage and Water Board. So thanks again. I appreciate it.
All right, Don. Thank you, brother. I do feel that, folks have got to know you. Whether you want to know them or not. Folks got to know you.
Person.
Yeah.
I'm a people person at my heart. And it's funny, I walk with friends and they'll say, you stop and talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I do. I'll talk and get information because you never know where a good idea is going to come from.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you'll find out, it's going to be a very short period of time that wherever you go, you're going to have to get there early. Not just be on time, what you consider early, but I'm talking about talk time early.
Uh-huh.
Because you're going to walk in the door and somebody's going to stop you. You're going to end up talking, and then you're going to go to the next one. Before you can even get to your seat, people are going to start talking to you. So it's going to take some time. And that's not just because of who you are and what you represent, but folks are going to feel that I know him. I know him. In New Orleans, folks want to know who you are, and they're going to invite you over. You're going to be like me. You're going to end up gaining a whole lot of weight. You're skinny now, man. I give you a year. I give you a year because somebody's going to fix you some gumbo. Somebody's going to fix you some red
The food
beans.
is great.
Right.
I have to push away.
In New Orleans, you can't push away from people's food because they take that as an insult. So you're going to find that out, too.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't want to insult anybody.
No, I know.
No.
Open mouth and say, that's it. But final question, because I know you got to get out of here. And what do you want? Now, everybody's going to be asking you what you can do for them. But if you had to think about all the folks in the city of New Orleans as the head person that got to fix a real problem, and you're just getting here and you're looking at it and assessing it, from all the people that are going to end up saying, this is what I need, what would it be that you need from the people?
Well, I made some notes while you're talking. Back of the envelope needs support.
Mm-hmm.
We need to understand that the people working at the Sewer and Water Board are dedicated professionals, water professionals whose job is to protect the health and safety of this community, and they take that very seriously. So they need your support. We need your patience as we go through these problems and try to calculate and strategize what the next steps are. You heard me talk about the master plan, the water master plan, and the number of years it'll take. I talked about the transmission main, water transmission tank. That's going to take time. The patience to allow us to put in the hard work and the brain power to calculate what's the best step to go for. Now, wait a minute. When I say patience, I do not mean that there's a lack of urgency.
Okay.
You don't go from North St. Louis to Georgetown Law to a member of the Supreme Court Bar to running 3 major water utilities without a sense of urgency. And so we need them to be, we're going to be urgent in what we do, but we have to do it right. Then I want them to learn everything they can about water. Listen to us on the news, go to our website, educate yourself about the issues we're facing and the projects that we have going forward in your community. And then we need attendance. There'll be times I'll be at a church or at a YMCA, meeting with people in the community, talking about a new project in the community, telling them about a new finance opportunity. We need people to attend and to learn and to speak up. And that's the last one, to speak up.
Right.
You know, if you see a problem, say something. Call 52 Water. That's our main number.
52 Water.
52 Water.
Okay.
And if you see water running in the street, call us. But at the same time, if you have a concern about a new project we're doing and there's something, we'll be in the community. Talk to us. And that's the main thing. So I say support, patience, attendance, learn, and speak up.
I would like the city to start treating you as an emergency. Everything dealing with your job is now. It's an emergency. People are going to call when there's when they feel there's an emergency. This water's running. My street's flooding. I can't get water in my house, so I got a pipe busted. I got a main busted. And I would like the city to start treating the Sewage and Water Board as an emergency. I need there to be notifications, not only just NOLA.gov or whatever. I want them to do just like they do for what is that? Crime Stoppers. You know, this is what's going on with Crime Stoppers. I need to have that every week of something about you. I need to see you on every television station, everybody's notification on their Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, every week. And I don't think that has been discussed by the powers that be. If we are in dire straits with this system, I need them to start treating you and the Sewage and Water Board. You're the spokesperson. You're the face I'm going to see. I need to see you every week, not when there's a water main bust or so. I need to see you telling me what's going on. You need to be on everybody's television every week.
I've spoken to our communications department. I told you stole my notebook at some point.
I told you I was for just a few minutes.
But I've spoken with our communication department, and we're looking at ways to be on more podcasts, maybe develop our own. We're looking at ways to make sure that we are on Instagram regularly with information, but not just the water main break. I'm doing you a disservice if that's the only time, as the executive director, I talk to the community. That I talk to them and educate them about the projects we have. And I talk to them about the status of projects and talk to them too about the difficulties we have. The hardest part for some people in a leadership position is having to say bad news. I've been in leadership a long time. Over 21 years, I've been the head of a water utility, be it a general counsel or the CEO. I've been in top management. And what I've learned in that time is that people don't want things just sugar-coated. The community is smart. They want this truth. And they want to know if there is a problem, what is your plan to correct it? And we have a plan, as I said, with the water problem. And also, too, they want to see collaboration. The mayor has started a program, the Infrastructure Coordination Committee, which I think is a great idea, where we coordinate with all the other utilities that are in the ground and in the air so that we don't tear up a street 2 or 3 or 4 times, that we coordinate and work together. And I think that's a great idea. And we have to coordinate with our other utility partners and with other city agencies as we go forward in developing our plan and in enhancing our plan. There's a solution. I want to leave people with hope. Because that's how I get up in the morning. And I want them to understand that we're in a difficult situation. Yes. We don't have all the monies that we need at this time. That's true. But we have some very smart and dedicated individuals at the Sewer and Water Board. And we have a city council and a city administration that wants to see us succeed and wants to see us have a water system that is reliable and one that the people are satisfied with. And so
you-
we can collaborate and make that happen.
You got NOLA. What is that? NOLA Give Day coming up. Are you all a nonprofit?
No.
Would you consider governmental?
Government.
Okay, all right. Because I wonder, can folks give to sewage
Well,
and
that's
water?
something I've thought about. I thought about that actually when I was in Philadelphia for people to make a donation.
Right.
Now, in Philadelphia, they had something called the TAP program, Tiered Assistance Program.
Mm-hmm.
So if you couldn't pay your full amount, you paid a percentage of your income, and others would make the difference.
Yeah, I would
And
like
that-
to see something like that happen too. And I mean, with a lot of the nonprofits and stuff on Give NOLA Day, they get money from people that want to donate to them. So I was just wondering, were you a nonprofit, if they wanted to, and be able to say, hey, we see that there's got to be some monies that go to you and go to the Sewage and Water Board so we can get stuff rolling. And I know you said, this is going to take time, but I'm going to be a little impatient and say, here go your money, get to work.
Yeah. And I expect people to push, and
Yeah.
they should push.
Yeah.
When I say be patient, I do not mean sit down in a rocking chair and just let things happen.
Right.
I mean the patience that takes a tree to grow. You got to water it. You got to plant it.
Right.
You got to pick good soil. But once you've done the good things up front,
Yeah.
it will be
It'll
powerful.
bloom. It'll bloom. Last but not least, come back.
Oh, I definitely
I'm
will.
expecting you to come back and sit down. You don't even have to wear no tie no more because seeing you in the suit with the boots on, I just saying, with the water boots, that wasn't cute, bro. That was not a fashion statement.
But it kept my shoes and my
It
suit
kept
dry.
it may have kept your shoes dry, but when you walked off, I said, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. But look, good to meet you, number one. I'm glad you kind of laid it out, who you are as well as what you're doing. But I guess this is the beginning of a relationship that hopefully you'll take advantage of. Come back whenever you want. Okay?
Well, thank you.
This is an open microphone, and I'm expecting you to use it.
Well, great. I appreciate your kindness and welcoming
Anytime.
me, and I appreciate the audience for listening.
Anytime. And they're going to have some more questions next time. So that's it. All right, you got to take the break. You getting ready to go. You getting ready to go bye-bye? All right, we getting ready to go bye-bye and call it a day. What's that? You got 1 minute?
You talk for 1 minute. You
what?
understood that?
No.
Yeah, you did.
What did you say?
Talk for 1 more minute.
No. I'm getting ready to
As much as you like to talk,
I'm getting ready to walk out too.
see, he's trying to act new in front of you.
I'm getting ready to get
See,
up out
Mr.
of here,
Randy,
too.
he's trying to act new.
So tomorrow, tomorrow we'll be back. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is
Hump Day?
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. But we'll be back on tomorrow. We got some more guests coming. I'm trying to make sure that they are going to say, yes, we'll be there, but they didn't do it as of yet. So if I tell it, they ain't coming. But if I don't tell it, they're going to be standing outside talking about something. You told
Ringing
me
the
to
doorbell.
come. Yeah, so we'll figure that part out. All right, you can take your break now. Take your break.
We about to go.
And we'll call it a day?
Yeah, we're calling it a day.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all on tomorrow.